Here we are. Okay. Welcome to our program. And finally, I'm realizing this podcast of my dream to talk to Grandmaster Sam Chin. We met a few times. First time it was in England, where I think I stayed a week with you with my brother. And that was a bit of a life-changing experience for me. It was a very deep, internal, spiritual experience for me. And had an excellent time. And then we met again in Italy. We spent some time at my brother's place. And it's good that you've given me this opportunity to have an interview with you. And hope you're well. Hope everybody in the family is well.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
My
good
time
morning.
is in the morning. I believe your time is in the. I believe your time is in the afternoon now. Really.
Yeah, it's 4:00 in the afternoon in Italy. So
yeah, I'm great to have you here. To have me here, is it?
I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous. So.
No. Is it? Yeah, we are sharing our ideas. I mean, to hopefully can get across to those who want to listen, to the podcast, is it?
Yes.
So I'm grateful for that too, is it?
Yes. Well, I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to study with you, and I think I understood that much, and that much to me was a lot. That was a lot because it helped me personally in my personal journey to understand certain alignments of energy. So I felt that it connected a lot of my years of training, researching, and I think it's very helpful for people to understand what you teach. So I thought if we got this interview together, maybe we could talk a little bit about your history so people know more about you and what you do and what you teach. I got a list of questions. Now, we'll see how we go, but it talks a little bit about your roots, if I'm not wrong. Originally, you're from Malaysia, if I'm not wrong, and your culture is the Hakka culture. And so I'm going by what Google tells me, or what I read, and it talks about the Hakka legacy and that you cultivated in certain traditions. Did you want to talk more about that and your connection to your father as well, who I believe cultivated the art as well? If I said it correctly, your father was Grandmaster Chin Lik Keong. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And decided to synthesize these secretive methods, which then opened the system of the Lineage we see today. And if I'm not wrong, it was from an era that was very harsh realities of post-war Malaysia, and from that extreme, from what your father taught you, you went to a full immersion for 10 years into a Zen monastery, which is quite fascinating. So did you feel like maybe talking a bit about that?
Yes, yes, yes. First of all, my father is the only son in the family. All right. His parents died very early. So he have a kind of a tough life, and also, the strong mind in the sense that they have like protective to himself is pretty strong, you see. Because that at that time is also in he born in 1930 in 30s, you see. So it was in the Japanese time, you see, the Second World War.
Yes.
So you know that period of time, you see. So that is the physical of protection is very, very strong.
Okay.
All right. So so he liked to learn martial art too, you see. So so he learned the first of all he learned some arts like they call it from Phoenix Eyes, you see,
Phoenix
point
Eyes,
striking.
yes.
And then he learned some Shaolin Juga, Liga, some
Okay.
Liga. There are a lot of masters in Malaysia that come from China down, you see. All right. They escape. They travel for uh far away. You see that during the communist time or all this time or before a long time ago, people travel down. You see. All right.
Okay.
So there's a lot of great masters. And the third art he learned is like Feng Yang Lu Yi. Sometimes they call it Xhin Yi Bagua.
Okay.
But so with all this mixture is because the history is not clear. It's not clear. So of course my father will what he learned, we try to synthesize it, is it? Try to make it in a way that he's more able to more to himself, is it like function. So so that's how it goes on as a group of people that try to form together, to meet up together, right? And because of that time and during Malaysia time, that government that restrict people for grouping together, right? If you more than how many people you cannot gather, no gathering.
Really? Wow.
Yes, no gathering. So they need to form an association. So with a group of people, they form an association called Lineage, name it under Lineage.
Right.
So my father was considered leading them, and with all these kung fu brother together, and then later all there are more people coming in to train under him. You see, so he is considered as what the co-founder, the founder of the group. You see, all right. They
Right.
formed the group. They formed the group. No doubt, my father is not a very educated guy. They need a lot of outside help, like kung fu brother to form it, to name it, or to do everything. You see, but that's how it started. You see. So I only learned directly from my father.
Wow.
I only learned directly from my father, you see, because that mostly we learn some of the Phoenix Eyes and the Feng Yang Lui, right?
Right.
Because the Phoenix Eyes, we love Phoenix Eyes is because that it's more for striking point, right? For closing gap,
Okay.
right? For closing gap, is it, or for keeping distance, for
Okay.
striking the hand, for anything that reach out we strike, is it?
Yes.
Because it's a self defense art. It's not no, it's not a sport, is it?
Okay.
Right, sport and self defense art is different.
Yes.
There's no such thing that you cannot hit here, you cannot hit there. Right, anything available we strike.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
So of course from the childhood time we learned, we go to tournament. All right, we do need to what I call share with other people, like going out to try out all these things, eh? But at that time was also in 1970s. In 70s that the karate was very strong,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Then the taekwondo, then the Muay Thai come in, is it? So in Malaysia, we got to, then later we got to meet all this Muay Thai. The conditioning, is it? Or else you can't even last around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So because then we got to train much harder, you see, in 70s and 80s. So in 70s
You trained in kickboxing, right, Sifu?
yes,
Yes.
because that we need to we train martial art is one way, we train ourselves, our art is differently, but we come to competition, we need to follow the rules. All right? They follow the rules, they've been turned into sanda, like
Yes.
martial art sanda, is it? The kickboxing rules, is it?
Yes. Yes.
Like sanda. But at that time, our rules is much more tougher. Because the rules, we don't have any, nowadays the Sunday, they wear helmet, they wear the protection. At that time, we don't have any protection.
Okay.
So even that time, you call sanda, but we can do elbow. It's more like a Muay Thai rules, you see. That we can elbow, we can chin out, we can throw, we can knee, even we can headbutt.
Really? Really?
Yes.
I should mention, because I know you won't say it, but you were also the heavyweight champion, heavyweight kickboxer. I think
Yeah.
I think you won a championship, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. I'm a heavyweight champ in 1970. 77 or 76, I forgot already. It's a super heavyweight.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Yeah, so
cool.
the fight over the time is different, you see. It's not that you cannot do this, cannot do that. The only thing that you cannot do is you cannot strike the throat, you cannot kick the groin.
But see, for that's the problem with my questions, because that's not question number 6. From the deep dive of being a heavyweight boxer, how did you go from being something so hard in our minds to going to being so soft?
There's no such a soft thing.
Okay, I agree with you, but a lot of people don't understand that. I think
Yeah,
I think I understand what you mean.
because the soft is something behind. It's behind. Of course, you need soft. That means we talk about relax, talk about the looseness.
Yes.
If there's no looseness is more like some kind of like emptiness, so that we can have a space. You lose up to get space to change.
Okay.
Right? When you lose, you get the space. Energy can travel. Right? When your energy can travel, but you must have hardness, firmness. You don't call it hardness. It's called firmness. Right? The firm, you see, that collect everything together as a pack. Right? So everything must be able to separate and unify. Is it? You need to separate to get spaces. You get space, sometimes it's got empty or you looseness. So you can interchanging between and energy travel. Right? When you hit, when you strike something, when you do something, you need to consolidate it.
Okay.
So that's why we talk about separation and unification. Right? But the changing in between is where the skill is. Right? The changing in between, there's a skill of timing and spacing, all these things, you see. All right. So we're back to my history. So
Sorry,
in 19
yeah. I jumped
in
the gun.
1890, so we have all this fight and all this training. So I'm also a businessman. I do restaurant in Malaysia.
Okay.
So because there is high time, low time, it's a kind of a business up and down, you see. Because in 80s there's a crash, you see, business crash. So in 80 in 89 um in 89, yeah, 89. So before that, I was in 70s. In 70s, I would be in Australia too.
Really?
Very young, I traveled. Very
Okay.
young, I traveled in 70s. First 70, I was in Holland.
Wow.
Holland for 2 years working because we, as a schoolboy, you see, we tried to go to England, but didn't happen. Land up in Holland for 2 years. coming back, we do some business, and in 70s, in 78, I believe in 78, 79, I went to Australia for half a year.
Where did you go?
Perth.
Perth. Okay.
That's where this in 70s, in 78, I believe that in 78, that's where I started a group in Perth.
I think it's still there.
Yeah, still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the earliest group I start. It's in Perth. It's in 70s.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Perth
So when
is
coming back, I do business and business up till to 89. So things change. So I come over to USA. I first land up is in California.
right.
In 88, in 89, so I went back to Malaysia and bring my whole family over. So in 90s, you see, I have friends that a Guru, Reverend Guru, he's the monk.
Right.
So he happened to be in the monastery in New York. So he was advising me come over to change. There's some change in my life. All right. So I come. So I listen to his advice. Come over to New York. So in 90s, I will be in New York. So land up in the monastery in Chongyan Monastery. From there, things evolve. So from there, evolved that I'm working there as a handyman, but as a cook, I'm also what I call taking care of the events, like big events, like summer camp, like that, like retreat, like Zen retreat, all these different retreat. You see, like there will be 100 people. Like how many people? I'm the cook to cook for the meal. You see,
Really?
yeah. Then
So
after that, a part of that on Sunday, on Saturday, I come up with they want me to come up with a program, like educational program for local. So I teach martial arts. That's how it started. As a program for local, see, right? So from there I start to evolve. Right, start to evolve because of the opportunity in the monastery. So you happen to meet all those reverend monk, right? You know what monastery do? Is it? It's all about Dharma, all about the truth, talking about all these things. So you have more chance of engaging all these things. So you start to slowly understand what is all about. Yes, all right. So the first thing I understand is that in martial art, Chinese talk about listening power. You must able to have listening power. What is listening power? Then realize that, oh, it's awareness. All right? It's about awareness. In martial art, at that time, me only know listening power, seeing, listening is only within martial arts and also very narrow, not a bigger picture. So through understanding what Buddhism teaches about bare awareness, right? Then, oh yeah, then I see the similarity that what is that, you see? So I spent a couple of years just looking into it. What is this? What are they talking about? So it takes me at least 3 years to see from up, down, left, right, here. Oh, it's all about this. So that is what we call now, I call my art is martial art of awareness. It's awareness. From there, you start to, it's the tool. Practically awareness is the tool itself. You are born with that, you see? So from there, how you expand, how to understand that, you see? How I built up the system through time and space. Because it's all about timing and spacing. All right, spacing we talk about is 6 direction and 3 dimension, XYZ. All right, it's all about that, you see? So I structure my art. That they are when I learned my father, we mostly only have partner training, less solo training. The partner training is that, like to my father, we only understand that offense and defense. 2 things. We studied 2 things: offense and defense. Yes, you strike your opponent. Don't let yourself win strike. That's it. But of course, you will still get strike. Is it? But the only 2 things you try to prevent yourself not being strike, and you strike your opponent. So through spinning hand to sticky hand, you see. But at that moment, we don't have any station. One touch, we start to move already. There's no such thing as station. Of course, then later on, we realize that learning station has some benefit because of getting structure, getting firmness of steadiness.
I'm confused when you say learning station. Do you mean stationary or learning
stationary? Stationary.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Right. Stationary, that means you need to able to stand firm over there to receive blow, receive force that you could not be disrupted, you see. So must able to connect, you see, down to the floor.
Okay.
But when you try to step, when we try to step, we talk more about spacing.
Okay.
So it's talk about spacing, talk about gap to get in, you see. All right, that kind of thing, you see. So, but later on, we find that we still need to learn station to have a strong body structure. All right. So we start to build. So we start to build up some stationary training. All right, but less solo training, but still some more stationary, like doing sticky hand or push or sticky hand. We call sticky hand or spinning hand stationary. All right, because more then when you keep on training, you get more precise. You doesn't even need to move, is it? All right. Because of understanding the spacing time, because of try to unify yourself first, the idea of paying attention to yourself first.
Okay.
All right. So we train so I build up some solo exercise.
Okay.
There's no solo exercise as before. Okay. So from I have some skill already to see what is the problem when we teach new people. What is that they don't have?
Okay.
So I come up with all these basic exercises like absorb, project, content, and expand, all these things, eh?
Okay.
Right? Because that traditionally, we only talk about, when my father would teach, we only talk about, you must be able to generate power. You see? At that time, my father would talk about, do you know your hand, your leg? You're not. If he doesn't know even this is your hand, how going to use it? Is it? All right, but it's not that clear. How do I know this is my hand? How to pay attention? All these things I later on learned from the temple. How to observe. What say like we talk about viewpoint, understanding, right actions. From where it comes, you see, what is right mindfulness? All these things, you see, right? Because that we are born as such, as a human being, we are born as such, we are limited by certain quality. You only can do this way, you cannot do that way. Like I said, I only can grab this way. Is it? You can't grab behind. You are born as such. There are limitations as something. You see, this is what we call the nature of things. You see,
Okay. Yes.
all right. The mind the same. Even all the senses are the same. They are limited. You see, they are need to be done. How should be done? You see, but that is not taught in martial arts. Sometimes we do talk about a little bit, but not clear about that. But in our Zen training, they do describe very clearly of his characteristic. That's why so later on our system, I make it down to talk about understanding down to his base of origin. That means what is the characteristic of things. That what I mean by character of things was what form this. How this form. And this form things that need certain conditions. There are certain conditions, that means what kind of quality is that to be there first? If the quality is not be there first, things cannot happen. Because that's why we talk about cause and conditions. You see, the condition must be there. If the condition is not there, it cannot be happen. So what kind of condition to be there? All right, things happen, and this happen have all this relationship. All right, this is how I slowly see things and how I build up the system, how I describe things and how I teach, passing down to my students how to see things. Another things that means how to view it, because that each viewing, how you view is different. The viewing, that means based on what kind of reference do you look at? What reference do you base on? But all these things is not that what you think you like, you can do it. No, because that you must obey the law of order. Is obey the law of nature. Because that a lot of time we go against our nature because that we doesn't know that we are structured as such. Like I said, you only can grab this way, right? You only can bend this way. You cannot bend the other way, right? So the body, this is why the structure, this is the yin muscle, this is yin muscle, this is yang muscle, right? How this yin yang work together. But they must have a separation. See? There's a bone separation, that how ligament tendons are work together. How the crisscross, how things move, how this society, and also how this universal, like the earth, like gravity. We are all bound by this, by gravity, by the atmosphere, by air. What we breathe in. Where we stand. We all stand on the same earth. We breathe the same air. This is some common things that's why we know each other. Yes?
Yes.
Because it's the common things this is the common ground. We stand on and we breathe the same air. That's why I know you, that your breathing and my breathing, you see, if you don't breathe, you die. Right? If you can't stand on the ground, you're off. You see, you can't stand on the ground. You cannot generate power. Right? This is the common ground. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? When
Yes.
you work a lot of these the teachings that you're telling me about now, and let's just say you want to train it in a combat scenario, which is probably what a lot of people emulate when we're talking martial arts. They tend to think that way. If I talk in my experience, I'd talk about trying to train a person in a way they don't necessarily have to train the combat program to beat me up or to hit me, but to work the principles that maybe you teach with a balance without having an overtension, by trying to maintain the unity of the yin yang muscle structure without being excessive, with the right breathing, with the right concentration. All these little elements, maintaining it in the concentration of a small program. So I don't know if I'm overcomplicating the question, but you know, when you talk about mind over muscle, I don't know if I talk about maybe Wing Chun. I'll give the example of Grandmaster Zhong Xin. He was very famous for generating a lot of power, and he seemed to be very relaxed because he seemed to be very centered with his energy. And so, a lot of what you're saying to me, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot there. It's a lot, especially talking about focus and being aware. It's a lot to ask a student as well. So, is there? I mean, it's a stupid question because you do have programs. I've worked some of your basic programs, which I still practice today because they're very useful for me to help me find my center of balance in a lot of the points, because you were talking about 13 points in particular. But so I did listen to you when you were teaching. So I don't know if I'm explaining myself properly. Even when you are training or physically moving, it's how do you teach this? Because it's very hard to maintain all this concentration level of awareness without interacting with your ego. Do you know what I mean, Sifu? Yeah.
Yeah, because that training, how you trained, right? Now we talk about past and present. So when in actions, when we talk about you know is always in the present.
Okay.
But from knowing, you're always the present. But when you how to function here later on will drop on past and present. So are you continuing seeing the moment as what is happening that happened, that you are balancing through here in actions, or you fall back to your past experience, or you fall back to your engage your past to see the moment.
Are you
But
asking
here,
me?
no, I was telling that
Okay.
people people will be doing these two things.
Yeah.
But the problem is, as a student, do they recognize that or not?
Right. Right.
Do they know they are in the moment or in the past? But that's why there's a training over here to recognize. First, we talk about recognizing the attention. But see, how do you recognize the attentions? So in all Chinese martial art, we talk about yi dao, qi dao, li dao. Yi dao, that means attention arrives there first. But if you cannot recognize what attention is, how do you talk about I arrive my attention there and able to hold my attention over there? So some of the training, we want to recognize what attention is first. Then we stabilize the attention. Right? We stabilize attention, that means that is what you call focusing.
Right.
Right? That you know there's something that you hold on over there to watch.
Okay.
So from there, slowly, you get more and more clearer what the attention is, that you can direct your attention. Then you can direct your attention where to put your attention to see what's outcome. So if attention runs to the past, then you know he jumped over to the memory. Right? Because that if you don't know how to train carefully, you wouldn't sometimes your training, your action will turn into conscious and turn into reflex. So you are not clear. So most martial arts, a lot of people training, if they're not clear, they train into reflex.
Okay.
The training reflex is habitual. No doubt sometimes because I reflex, because I doesn't need to think. They say it's no thinking. But that is habitual because that you're already so used to it, you can't even think. Right? It turns into subconscious. Right? That reflex, just reflex. That means that reflex is not clear. That reflex, you don't have control. All right?
Okay.
So no doubt it's very fast. That's why a lot of people only up to that. They want to train this to here.
Okay.
For us, we want to get rid of reflex. When we get rid of reflex, we want to be conscious all the time. But conscious all the time, can you keep up with that conscious? None. Because things happen so fast. Right? So that's why we talk about direct. It's about conscious, direct connecting. We engage with direct connecting. When we can connect, it's like a Wi-Fi or like what they call a radar, right? I connect everything. When you connect everything with consciousness, you are there all the time. When we talk about when you are there all the time, that means so it doesn't base on time and space anymore. Because I'm already there. Right? The problem is what is there? There is a moment, there is a present. But that present moment is constant changing. How can you keep that? That is a answer. That is a question. How can you maintain that? Because it changed. Can you keep up with that or not? The change, they change so fast. All right? Can you keep up with that or not? That is the problem. You see, that's why we train to understand this through all this connecting. All right? That's why we talk about a point and a line. But all this connecting, so you are always there. So always there, we don't talk about speed anymore. What is speed? What is speed to you when you are there? When I'm there, that means I occupy. Say, I sit over here, you cannot sit over here.
Okay.
Right? That is what the training we try to understand. Right? So from here, we can define what is empty, what is full here. That means what is solid, what is empty. It's only what is positive, one is negative.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is the change of here, see? Understand?
Yes.
So that moment itself, we see this. So there is no judgment here, but it's just only the flow of interacting here. All right? Or if you can't hold over here, you will fall back. Fall back with your memory. Fall back with memory, that means fall back to your past experience. When you fall back to past experience, then you judge the moment. That's what we talk about that. You see?
I think I understand a little bit what you're saying. The only experience I can say is that many times when I work with the students, I try, and I don't know if it's the same, if it's a similar experience, but I don't like to work on reflexes and hitting. I want to have full conscious control that whatever input they give me, if I'm going to aim in my intent towards their face or their body, I try and aim to have complete control at whatever point, tuck, 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 whether I'm close to my chest or on their arm, or even if I'm close to the face. I want to have, my aim is to have complete control of my energy. And if I don't want to hit, I don't have to hit. But if I want to add, I can add. I aim to have that control. I don't want things to happen by accident because he gave me too much power and boom, I hit you in the head. Oh, that's your bad luck because you gave me too much power. If he gives me too much power, I can still have conscious control of not striking him too hard. But that's taken me many years to try and get that. It's very, very hard for me. But for me, I'm trying to keep balance at the same time, because if I push with my body, then I lose my center. But that's what I try to do with Wing Chun.
Yes. You see, every human being, every art itself has that kind of things. You see, we as a human being is the same. There's no difference. All right. The only difference is that do you make it clear enough? right? You need to make it clear and separate that. So you clearly see that. So your constant training to be make it more clear. So we more clear, so you can have better control. You see? I mean, so then you can define this. You see, that's only training, and it's not that I have you, you don't have. You have it the same. The only thing that you just want to make it clear, because that through you, you got to personally direct training to feel it. But the thing is that sometimes because without the theory behind, it's harder. It's harder, you see, because that you got to taste it yourself all the time. You got to taste it for yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know. You see?
But Sifu, there's something really important that when I met you, after I think I can't remember, it was 1 week the first time, and I think on the second day we had a very long conversation, if you remember, and you made me realize I was doing things, but I was unconscious.
Yeah.
It says you're doing it, but you don't know you're doing it.
Yes.
And I said, oh my God. I was really shocked, and I thought, oh my God, that's so true. And I could maybe show it, but I didn't know how to verbalize it, and that really shocked me. So I have to really thank you for that, because that opened up my mind in a lot of ways. Because so many years you do something, luckily it seemed okay, but it makes such a big difference when you can mentalize it or you can verbalize it. It really is a big difference, and people don't understand it. They say, yeah, physically
Yeah.
you do it, but
We talk about three things. First, mentally you understand,
mm,
but you must able to verbalize it. Explain. Explain why, what, how. We talk about what is this, why, and how. All right? And then you must able to do it. There's three things. Any one thing is lack that you cannot understand, you can't, that means you don't know. I can do it, but I cannot explain. That means something is you're missing. You're
yeah,
not clear.
yeah.
There's you can't see the process, how things evolve, how things interchange.
Yeah.
You don't know. It just act more unconscious, more to a reflex, or more to the habit. You see? Right? Because that you are not clear. Right? That's why in olden days, sometimes we train just repeatedly. So it gained memory, muscle memory, all these things, you see? It turned into a reflex, turned into habitual.
Yep.
But turn into habitual, it doesn't help you to discipline much.
Okay.
You see? So you need to consciously recognize this. So that's what the training of not only just body training is more about cultivation. All right, cultivating what within yourself, see how, you see? Right? See how mind works, how the body works. So how the body affect the mind and how mind affect the body. So normally we use the body to train the mind,
Okay.
right? Because training the body is easier
Yes.
than just training the mind. That's why in martial art we train our body. When we train our body, that the mind got to follow the body. So we are training the mind too, you see?
Yes.
So sometimes we say, okay, you need the mind to be there. Yes, to be the body, recognizing the body first. Right? Recognize the body first. So slowly, so we recognize the feeling.
Okay.
Then you recognize the feeling, then you recognize the mind. You see, through the body, within the body, we talk about the air, breath. The movement, you need to breathe through the body,
Yes.
right? The breathing, the breath condition the body. And we said then later on that you feel, there's feeling. That the feeling condition the mind. So this is a part of the training, you see.
The breathing is really an important part of it. It's we did a lot of that.
Because first of all, we talk about body, we talk about this, the four elements first. The earth, water, air, and fire. This is the body. The earth, we talk about skeletons, ligament, tendons, muscle, tissue, and all those hard substance, you see?
Yes.
So when we talk about air, it's about things we breathe in and the pressure within that we movement. So you can move without moving your breath and see how you feel. You can now. You need to breathe in, breathe out. So the diaphragm, so the pressure within the body change and pressurize it. Right? So with this, then we have muscles, like that is the muscle is the earth, you see? Then we have the water. Then you have the heat within the body. All right, this is the four element. All right, so we work on this, and then we have later on. Then we, of course, we have sensation, the feeling. You see, but all this, like I said, attention must be there. So the attention, that's why we do movement slowly to have attention monitoring the action.
Okay.
So then you only can recognize the attention. So you will recognize that attention itself only can do one thing at one time. So don't do multitask.
Okay.
But how to do? Then how to do one thing and do everything? Not do one thing to have everything. That means you must do from one center point, from one balance point that connect everything. That's why we talk about only start with one with many. One with many, you must able to feel that one. That's why Tao talk about one center point. One center point. Anything that go out from that one point must return. One center point that go out must return. That means what? That means it's two energy, positive, negative. So that's why what's go out must come back. What's go forward must go backward also. See? It's two. So then this cycle of positive, negative, then it connect. Then it has a cycle of return. Then you only can see all things turn into one thing. Because our body is built as such, you see, that we have a positive and negative, the yin yang muscles, or even the flow of our heart, the flow of the blood, artery and vein. That's a cycle. That's why in Chinese medicine we talk about dantian and mingmen. Dantian, they store all the yin, directing all the yin energy to dantian. And mingmen is a positive. It's a positive that spread out. It's like a fountain, reservoir, the fountain. You see the release from our kidney point. Mingmen. That means it's a cycle of dantian and mingmen. So this cycle, we call it the macrocosmic energy flow. But with all this cycle of mechanic, right? The flow of the cycle of the energy and also the movement. The movement that stretch out is from the yang. Drawing is from the yin. There's positive and negative. You see, it's only two, out and in, you see? They're going out and coming back. So only these two energy. So this cycle of macrocosmic energy, but the thing is that they are hold up by the skeleton, hold up by the bone. That's why we talk about, first you got to recognize the bone. The bone is where the joint is. The joint is where the ligament tendons. The ligament tendon is where the attaching of the yin yang muscles. Then muscles, then we talk about tissue. The tissue. The tissue sometimes people talk about is fascia. Right? The tissue then to the skin.
Excuse me.
So that's why the separation of this positive and negative is from the bone. That's why the Tao always talk about one must be two, two must be three. One, that means is oneness. Two, that means yin and yang. The three is the things that separate the two, and also unify the two as one. So then from here, then everything is only bond. That's why it's 1, 2, 3. Everything is about 1, 2, 3. That means it's separation, unification, yin and yang. But the thing is not everyone only see yin and yang, but they didn't see enough of the separation and unification.
And that's what you consider the three?
Yes, the three is a center point. The three is a center point, the three is a neutral point.
Sifu, isn't that a bit like the guiding light of the two forces?
Yes. They are the one that do the polarity. They are the things that do the complementary.
Yeah.
That separation must be very strong.
This theory, since I've met you, has been driving me insane. Thank you very much.
Because that you only see from center to see the two. Yeah. Then you know the two. If you see from one to another one, you are judging.
Okay.
See, how can you see this side to other side? Is if you're the mountain, in top of the mountain, if you this side to see the other side, can you see it? You only on top of the mountain you see. Yes.
Yeah.
Because on top of the mountain you are touching both sides. So you are not judging the both side. You can able to recognize the both side. Then how to recognize this both side? It's from the center. This center is the balance point. The balancing these two to see the difference.
Okay.
This is what I see a lot of people missing. How do you know? Is it?
There was a question. There's a balancing point down here as well, yes?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere there's a balancing point. First of all, we are balancing our body with the gravity. Our body, everybody have a mass. Every object have a mass. The mass is balancing with the gravity. So to stay balanced, so you stay upright, so you can function. If that is not balanced, you cannot function. You drop off. That is the first rules. Are you balancing there first? That means, are you balancing on the feet? Right? With the ground throughout the body. Are you balancing that or not? That's why we talk about the feet and the crown.
Yes.
All right? Are you balancing that or not? If you are not balancing, then what? All right? Because through balancing, you know. Yes? Because through balancing, you know the difference. Because it's the difference, that's why you know. Yes?
But you have to keep that state in all positioning, even all footwork, in all states of pressure. It's so complex. It's so multidimensional. This state. You want to try and keep it all the time, I think.
That's why now there's one line with the gravity. All right, but there is our body. Our body can break down into yin and yang, yin muscle, yang muscles. We have two groups. Because the any action there must yin muscle, yang muscle. If I want to grab, I need to use my yin muscle first. Then the yang muscle release. If I want to stretch, I used to use the yang muscle first. I stretch the yang muscle first. Then the yin muscle follow. Yes? It's not about what comes first. It's about the function. If I want to do yang, I need to execute the yang first and yin release. If I want to grab, I use the yin first, the yang release. This is the cycle of complementary. Right? But this, how do I know? Because there's a bone middle that separate the yin yang muscles.
Can I ask a
Everything
question?
is such. Huh?
Sorry, I just wanted to ask a question. When you work this flow of energy, if I'm saying this correctly, I remember sometimes, and I've got this in my question. I'm jumping a few questions, but sometimes you said the same thing that we talk about in Wing Chun with the connection of the elbow flow, and the stability of the elbow. And I found that fascinating because in many Chinese lineages with Wing Chun, they're very obsessive with this concept, of the connective elbow. And maybe they talk about also expanding joints instead of contracting muscles, but more so talking about the elbow. And I noticed that sometimes when we would do spinning arms, that sometimes it seemed to me like there was this connectiveness that you would have in the elbow. Is that my impression, or am I right? Am I wrong? Did you want to elaborate on that, or?
I know it's right because sometimes we define some quality within each movement. So then it will turn more as a technique.
Right.
When this move you do this, that move you do that. That is nothing wrong with that. All right. But I would like to have more principle wise.
Principles wise, right?
Yeah, principle wise. That means that how the quality of each things should be done.
Right.
So it's not about each movement done. Each section like 13 points, each point should be as such what to produce what kind of connection energy.
Okay.
So you maintain that connection energy. It's not about technique, about the connection of the movement, how you preserve like wrapping energy.
Okay.
Like calling energy from one end to another end. How?
Okay.
Well, how do you recognize that? You see? Like wrapping elbow. But sometimes we always say, oh, you got to drop your elbow. Ooh, sometimes I could raise my elbow, but I'm wrapping my elbow. It's different. Because wrapping is coiling the energy in Guindo. Of course, I cannot always keep my elbow down. Why can't I raise my elbow? Right?
Yeah.
You can raise the elbow under different conditions, you see? But it's the principle of energy is keep maintaining there, like wrapping, coiling. Like does the power go through my shoulder, elbow, wrist or not? Sometimes because when you raise the elbow, the energy doesn't go down to the elbow. It go to the wrist, so you wouldn't generate much power.
Okay.
But when we wrap the elbow, doesn't matter. We raise the elbow, the energy still go to shoulder, elbow, wrist. It's a principle wife of direction of energy. It's not about technique, movement. You should, this one you drop this elbow down, do this, that. That's how I do my teaching. That's why we talk about points. Each point, right, should have what kind of energy over there.
Okay.
So it connect the whole body. So when you connect the whole body, maintaining the energy, that kind of energy, do whatever movement you can do. But once you do some movement that loses energy, that means you go too far.
Okay.
Right? It's to learn to maintain that kind of energy, you see. Sometimes you go off, that means the energy is no more there. That means it's the wrong move. If the maintained energy is still there, that means it's fine. That means you're still connected. That means connected, that means what? Connected, that means what's go out must able to return. What's
Right.
go out, don't return, that means there's something wrong.
So it's always a generation that derives from the body.
Yes,
Rather
from one
than,
point.
yeah. Right.
That one point you never leave that one point. That's why we call that center point. A neutral point, a balance point. It's also the present point.
Well, there's the problem. I'm comparing again, you know.
I mean, it's nothing wrong. Sometimes because sometimes teaching, it depends on the teacher. See, sometimes because some students, they cannot get that way, they need to teach in a certain way.
Yes.
So because that you teach in a certain way, he cannot understand, how could then there's no point, you see? You need to teach him that he understand also.
Well, I remember one of the first things you were teaching us, which really made me think. And you were saying, I think this is what you said. You were saying, I teach you something, but you always use a reference to your personal experience or to something you learned previously. And it's not the best way to learn. You have to empty your mind and learn fresh from the perspective of what we're teaching. And it's not it's not easy to do that, because everybody when they have a lot of luggage or baggage in their minds, to empty and say, okay, I have to start with a clear mind. I have to be honest, I find it very hard. I went to a seminar just recently with I don't know if you know Sifu Francis Fong and Sifu Danny Nosanto. And my mind went tilt, because my natural reflex wants to do something, and I don't do it on purpose. And they say, no, you have to do it this way. And I have to, shut up. Do it the way they want to do it, because you're learning their way of interpreting energy, the way they're doing it. And, it's important to try and learn. So it's a big challenge internally for people who want to learn things or new things, or, anyway, sorry.
You see, now I can give you advice that is because that in order to not to function keep on going back to the past experience, sometimes because it's about the touch. Right? If you touch, if you can maintain directly connect and hold on that connection to see. Keep on seeing the connection. It's all about direct knowing, direct feeling, direct changing with the moment. That's why here is where the function of attention, a function of focus, function of concentration, and point of contact that you can hold on to there. Right? Like we talk about meet and match. Hold on that one point and meet the behind point. The action of opponent is always come from behind. You see from behind. If I touch your wrist, I feel your elbow.
Okay.
Feel your elbow. How feel feel opponent elbow, how you align to the wrist. And then you can feel the elbow to the shoulders. Then shoulder to the body to the hip to the feet. If you can connect, keep on connecting. If you connect that, that means you are only keep on seeing behind, so you are not falling back to your past experience.
Okay.
So you train it that way. So when you chi sao the same, you see, you chi on the wrist, chi on the forearm, right? You need to chi sao to look at his elbow, look at his shoulders, look at his hip. Not try to connect his shoulder and the hip. So how the hip respond, you respond to that. That means this is the way that we talk about direct knowing, direct experiencing. Right? You are not falling back to your the past response.
Yes. Yes.
Because you are meeting behind. Because you are, another way you could say that you are attacking behind. Attack behind. Attack, you can be attacking, pushing or pulling. Keep doing that first. Then you know that is the only way, you see? Right? Then you will know that that is the moment of reacting with what is happening.
Mamma mia, it's a big level of focus, big level of awareness that I think I'm following you, Sifu.
Right, because doesn't matter. All his connection is from the feet, is from the shoulders, from the hip, from the ground. You see, if you connect that already, so doesn't matter I don't care what art you are training. As long you are a human being, your skeleton is as such. Or else, it's different. You see? One time you already connected. You see, it doesn't matter. You already give me everything. Why should I need to think about it? You see? I just sense it, feel it. That's all. That's why we talk about connecting. How far can you sense? How far can you connect? Once I connect, you are my puppet. Is it?
Yeah.
I'm the puppet master. You are my puppet. I just do what I can just yank you here, yank you there. Is it?
And you do it with a smile on your face.
Because that we don't have any threat, you see, it's not we have any intentions. Right? We just flow with what's there, see? That's why the things that the expressions or the feeling have no bad feeling. Not kind of like I need to kill you. No, because I just follow the empty and full.
Sifu, I have a personal question I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
And if we don't want to publicize it, then we can cancel it. But I'll ask you anyway.
Okay.
For many years, there was two teachers that expressed to me that working weaponry, like long pole, swords, they taught me movements to in empty hands, and so the Wing Chun changed dramatically to the way I was taught traditionally. And so it became more circular, the footwork became much more larger, and it became, I don't know, I found myself that I was doing a lot of toshu with people in the parks of Kowloon, and I found that the work was on empty hands from the footwork that was derived from the long pole and from the swords. It was very compatible because they had very circular movements, not only in the arms, but with the leg works as well. So, but I find that this type of teachings, they don't really teach much of it on an advanced, until you're at a very, very advanced level. And I think it's a bit sad because it's an opportunity wasted. So I don't know, maybe it's not good that I talk about these things, but it's something I feel that I'm curious to know if maybe there's a reason for it, or if it's just the way it is because it's an old-fashioned teaching system. But I know that weapons tend to give a lot to students on a very advanced level, which relates more to similar movements I see in Tai Chi sword, much more in the work that's done in the Zhong Xin Dao. And I don't know, it makes me very perplexed. So was that a question I shouldn't ask, or is that okay to ask that?
No, no, no. I mean, this kind of question sometimes is so many variety.
Okay.
So everyone could be different. See, because that once you meet your opponent or something that you want your like even students part of the outside thing that you want to communicate.
Yes.
Could be different. Everyone realization is different. Everyone recognizing is different. So sometimes because of maybe who knows about value, about doing things, they need to have certain way to catch, to maintain something relationship, or to catch you to continue. So if you want to teach something that people want to learn, you must be interesting. Yes.
True.
But interesting to you, not necessarily interesting to him. Yes. So it differs. It depends. But if I don't have, if sometimes traditionally teaching as a teacher, sometimes I only want to teach what I think, what is right. There are certain things that you always say that the student know what he want, but the student doesn't know what he need.
Okay.
As a business, you want to give him what he want. As a training, no, you want to give him what he need.
Okay.
When what he need maybe is not interesting to him. Is it? Well, what he want is interesting, is it? Because that's what he want as a business. So depend on the master. Is this the business or or what is it?
I don't know what to say, Sifu. I really don't know what to say.
That's right. It's preferred, is it? All right. So sometimes it's very hard, is it? Like the same thing, like in the beginning, like me, even I'm start to evolve my art teaching.
Okay.
But first of all, when I was young, I got to go out to teach because I need to survive.
Okay.
When I survive, any student come in, as long as they don't disturb the class, how he like it or doesn't like it, sometimes we do have some kind of mutual understanding. It's more like some entertaining. Yes? Entertaining some students. Because that you need someone to fill up the plate.
True.
To survive.
True. Okay.
All right? So the teaching will be slightly different. All right, but as we go more in depth, I have more people now. So we doesn't need this group of people more. It doesn't need this group of people. We want some more interesting group of people. So you are more direct, more teaching now. Is it what differently? Is it?
Yeah.
So till now, up to now, so far, no. I only teach what I want to teach. If you don't like it, don't come. Is it? Or I will start to choose people to teach. Is it?
Right.
Right. Yeah. If you are not respect enough, not obey enough, because you wouldn't able to learn my art without respecting. So I'm no time to waste anymore.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. Okay.
So it's a different category, is it? All right. So that's why for me, even the people ask for me for a private lesson, I normally don't give private lesson. Unless you are my student, unless you are my instructors, unless you are something that was small group, I will teach. You see, if outsider just want to learn something, no, I'm not. You pay me, I don't. Unless you pay me a lot of money. Because I don't want to waste time. Because my idea is to establish my art, to maintain my art, to spread the art. You see, if you are not learning to spread my art, you want to learn to keep it for yourself, sorry. All right, then you can come to my other workshop, but not for my private lesson. You see, because I don't have much year to spend. See, how many years more for me to spend? All right, because that is the value of see things go. You see, it's not that I'm in ignorance or great big ego. No, because I know I don't have much more time left.
Right.
My time is much more precious to teach someone who are willing to learn, you see, and willing to help to spread the art, you see. So everything different, change, it depend on the relationship and perspective, you see.
Very clear. Very clear. I understand.
Yeah. Yes, that's how things go to me. But other people, I don't know. You see?
I'm talking about it from a student's perspective who really wants to learn and maybe puts his heart and soul into it for many, many years and maybe comes across certain obstacles in his growth. And so, at a certain point in his life thinks, okay, so why is this a big change when you go to an advanced level? So to me, it was very shocking to learn certain things on an advanced level, which completely changed my biomechanics of the body. And so to me, it was like, knock on the head, wake up. So yeah, that's why I asked the question. But I can understand what you're saying. It's not easy to give that information away, I don't think. You need time as well.
Because not only information, like for me today, I'm giving a lot of information out.
Right.
But personally, there is something is beyond this information is because that they need to have a direct experience.
Right.
Direct experience, that means you need to be direct connected to get the taste. Right? If I say soft, what soft is that? I said, what is salty or sweet? How sweet, how salty? Unless I give you the taste, I know this. That cannot be explained, you see. Right? That need a direct experience. We talk about these direct transmissions. Right?
Okay.
That means they need to have, that means the student need to be open enough to receive it too, you see.
Understand.
Right? If they don't have that kind of trustworthy, they cannot receive it. I mean, as you go higher, you know that you go higher, the attentions, the focus get more steady. They go more steady, get more sharp. Then you see things differently. So that's how the cultivation and how the behavior will change too. That's how you live your life. Right? Because that you are not wasting your mind energy anymore. Right? Not simply, right, keep on wondering your thinking thought or do something, because you will be more feeling yourself, more mindful.
I wish I met you 30 or 40 years ago, Stifel.
No, nothing too late.
I really do. I was honest with you. I think I wrote to you privately and I said, I feel locked because it's like there are a lot of things that you teach that I really like working on. The basic exercises that you taught, I work them every day, honestly do, even with my students. But I really wish I would have started, because I think I'm smart enough to understand how to work some of the basic mechanics structurally, aligning myself and applying it with the Wing Chun I do, or even other combat sports. I think I can. Then maybe I can't. But I really wish I had met you a long time ago, Sifu. But maybe better late than never.
I mean, of course, I mean, like we said that if you expose yourself more, you see a bigger picture. You see.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Absolutely. The you you also work a lot for health, not just for combat. And I remember that some of the students or the instructors, I think they were going for 7th level or 8th level, and they were talking about certain techniques that were connected with internal organs, and that was beyond me. I couldn't follow it, but that was quite incredible. I thought that was impressive. But I think
Yeah, because that every art itself, not only for martial arts, for combat, but for health and for spiritual. Because nowadays it's different from olden days, like 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 a long time ago. You see, nowadays because that it's different. There's law and orders. There's guns and everything. You see, it's different. No doubt, we still need to be aware that we don't get ourselves in trouble. It's still based on our attentions, our know-how, the situations about what is danger, what they call is out of that danger area. So you recognize that through training martial art also, right? So for health, because that for me when I was young, we destroy our health because we go through all this stupid training. Sometimes we was young, we doesn't know because that after injury, everything within 1 or 2 days is fine. As you go older, you suffer, right? So in order to have a system, we keep on now come up with the health program to make sure that the training must incorporate it into it. So do we know where is a safe line? You see, all right. So I do come up with some of the like qigong exercise and also some organ exercise. Right through our spinning hand, we do have like 5 element, right? How to engage the 5 element training within the organs, you see, rather than just only stretching the muscles, ligament, tendons, all these things, and also activate the organs. Yeah, this is part of the training. Nowadays, we must have that, right? As a system, I've tried to incorporate like there's philosophy. The philosophy is important because of understanding. Understanding based on what? Based on the truth. Based on what the truth is. How to go about that, right? And the concept of how you approach, and then the principles of training. So when we have that, so we have a guideline like how to discipline ourselves, right? All things that we try to come up must benefit humanity, right? To teach someone to be a better person,
yes,
right? If someone is if they don't have this benefit, then what's the point having a product, a system without this benefit? You see, right? Must gear toward humanity, all right? So for health and for mental discipline, and of course also understanding protecting yourself, protecting your family, protecting your community. Right? So you understand what is danger. Understand in other case we talk about when we talk about martial, we talk about limits, understanding your limits. All right. If you don't go beyond your limits, you are safe.
Yes.
All right. If you don't know your limit, that you will get in trouble. That's where you get yourself suffer. Training martial arts, more important thing actually is understanding the limits. My boundary, my limits. Right? That means you don't step on people's toe. That's my
Yes.
limit. You see? All right. If you don't understand that, then you get yourself trouble. So because understanding everything, there's a boundary, there's a limits, you see? That's what your space is. The space and time. That is what martial is. So like you say, you don't walk yourself into trouble. First of all, you must avoid yourself in trouble first. See? Then once you get into troubles, you must be able to walk away safely. Right? The last resort only try to fight and protect is to do something to get away, you see? First, don't walk yourself into that trouble first. That is the first self-defense thing, you see? That means you must, that's why sometimes we talk about feng shui. See? Feng shui is what? Understanding the surrounding, right?
Once you told me, I don't know, I never understood if it was a compliment or if it was a joke, but you said I was a little bit like a Zen warrior, that I like to touch and feel everything. And I said, yeah, but maybe that gets me into trouble. So, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's good because everything need to be exposed. You need to expose yourself, but you must know your limits also. That's all.
Yeah.
That's the balance over there. All right, because in order to keep on investigating, we call about the Zen mind. You see, keep on investigating, keep on pushing, keep on pushing, keep on pushing. You see, all right. That means to increase your surrounding, to increase the boundary. All right, if you don't have that, then you won't be what they call as improving yourself. You see.
Sifu, if you had to give any advice, because I'll be posting this in all the Wing Chun forums, and I think it'll be natural. They'll say, "Okay, so what? Yeah, how does this help me?" I think it's the normal reaction. But for me, if I had to say how it helps me in my Wing Chun, I would say that it's helped me first to increase my level of awareness is number one. Secondly, to be aware of my center of balance. And thirdly, to increase awareness of my center. And because a lot of times you were talking about the rotation of the center. And just these small things were stuck in my mind a lot. And focusing on that tends to help me and my Wing Chun for my Chi Sao and other stuff. But that's just on a very basic level. So I wanted to ask you, if somebody wanted to come and learn Zhong Xin Dao, is there anything that you could recommend? I don't know, maybe obviously having an open mind, but because everybody comes in with their baggage and their expectations, which I think is probably the wrong thing to do, and probably they have a harder time learning. I tried very hard to be neutral and feel what you do, because I didn't want to test, I wanted to feel. And I was really impressed about how you could generate energy, or how sometimes just very slowly I would feel an increase of energy, or you could shift me. And I thought, wow, that was like really I thought that was really cool, and I think people could get a lot out of understanding the body mechanics and how you're very connected to the earth. And I don't know. I don't know if that's a good question or not.
Of course, I mean, now, first of all, every system has its own path.
Yes.
Every system till now, if they are still hanging on, there's some, of course, must be some greatness over there. Yes, every system has its own own thing that they follow. So should be good, right? All systems they build should be good.
Mm.
Only things that sometimes different people realize it in a different way. All right. Now, what I could say, why I come up, you see, because that my father was named under Li Chan. That is mental. E is mental, and lead is more about physical. So, but like I said, that my father will be saying that know yourself, know your opponent. To me, I try to push it one more in depth. Before you know yourself, what is knowing? Right? How do you know what is knowing first? You say know yourself, know opponent. You must understand what is knowing before you know yourself. Then everyone will say, yeah, of course I know myself. What do you know that you know yourself? You see, this is what I talk about. Right? Then I come up with the Zhong Xin Dao. Zhong Xin Dao is more of a concept of approach. Because that Zhong, that means is the neutral. Neutral could be in the moment, could be present. Right? Then why is that? Because that, first of all, under the characteristic as a human being, before we talk about human being, talk about physics, talk about things. First, everything happened in time and space. In time and space, they talk about point of contact. Anything that you know from point of contact. You receive information from point of contact. You react back to point of contact. All right? That's one thing. Now, the second thing is that, like I said, that in time and space, what is time and space? Time and space, that means we talk about present moment. Now, you must understand that present moment in time and space, the present moment keep on changing. Can you keep up with that change? That's why we talk about what is the characteristics of nature. Right? The Zen talk about impermanent. Tao talk about change, constant changing, to be with the moment. That Bruce Lee said, you must change with the change. What does that mean? To be in the moment. You must change with the change to be in the moment. If you cannot change with the change, it cannot be in the moment. If you cannot be in the moment, it cannot see what is happening to happen in that moment. Then what kind of quality, what kind of characteristic that you need to be with the moment? So you need to understand that, you see. So that's what we talk about. Tai Chi talk about. So talk about you cannot resist, you cannot back off. What is that? Right? Okay. We talk about flow. What is talk about flow? Flowing, that means is with together. That means change with the change. How do you do that? That's one thing. Now, second thing is that because in time and space, you must understand that only one occupied. My mind only can do one thing at one time.
Okay.
Space, I sit here, you cannot sit here. Right?
Okay.
So one occupied. So that means you must understand that this is the nature of the mind and space and time. So how do you train? How do you work through here?
Okay.
All right. So you must understand that. That means how to be in the moment and be with the moment and changing with the change. If you cannot do that, then you're gone. That's all. That's why we always talk about how to be mindful. What is mindful? What is point of contact? All this you need to understand. This is not about your WingChun or my Lineage or Xhin or Bagua. It's not about that. It's about the characteristics of things, of a mind and a body. You have a mind, you have a body. You have this time and space. So if we talk about following the Tao philosophy or Zen philosophy, Tao talk about, that's why we talk about one point, one balance point, one line. Can you explain that? What is that one balance point that contains the whole universal? How can you explain that down to there? Can you see down to there? But all these things that you can go to my website or my Facebook to listen to my talk, we do explain that. So because that, like I say, in time and space, only one occupied. So we start with one. One have 1, 2, 3. Then everything is born. That is the characteristic. That is the principle of birth of everything. So here is expressed to everything, into our art, into anything, into our work, into our job, what you do, your professions, everything. So no, we are talking about not only for martial arts. Martial art is just a tool to look into this one point. All right, because martial art itself has a very good tools, because that it must have the kind of readiness at instant. The instant get the feedback. If you do it wrongly, the feedback tell you are doing wrong. But it doesn't need to wait for another couple of years to, I do this wrong. No, in instant they give you wrong. You can know it from instant, so you can gain constant adjusting, constant tuning it into a way that to align with that. That is a tool, you see?
As long as the alignment's correct.
Yeah, the problem is how do you align it? What tools do you use?
Yeah, but that's the big question.
That's why it's 1, 2, 3. That's why it's a balance point.
Yeah.
A balance point has 6 direction energy. A balance point has 6 direction energy and 3 dimension. How do you understand here? That's why from one point to have 6 direction is only to rotation. That's why I talk about rotation. It's a pivot point, but if you just pivot, you only have one energy at one time. The most you have 2 energy at 2 times. You can't have 6 direct. You can't have 6 energy at one time. That's why it's only to rotation. That rotation that produce spiral energy. What is spiral energy? What is the effect of all these things? You see?
Sifu, can you have 6 directions active, ready to go though? That it can be ready.
That's why we talk about neutral.
Okay.
That's why you talk about neutral, talk about balance point, the present point. That no matter what, even though now you sit over here, you don't feel you are rotating, actually it's rotating.
I got asked about that the other day and I didn't answer because it seemed too long to answer. To me, you're always in a state of rotation.
Yes. The whole universal rotate, is it?
Yeah.
If you don't rotate, you can't stay in place.
Yes.
That's why on my system we have 6 physical point. The last one is a spinning force of coordination that rotate to hold on the space. You see?
Sifu, did I tell you I used to watch all your videos from nearly 20 years ago on YouTube?
Yes.
Around 2007, 2008. I used to watch I used to think, who's this guy? He used to have a white t-shirt,
Yes.
and there was always this, people who used to make fun of people who used to do Tai Chi, and they'd say, this is no good and no good. But I used to really like what you did. I didn't know who you were, and it used to inspire me a lot for my own research. And I used to steal some ideas from you. But,
I mean, fun.
But
actually that's the whole idea, or else why we make it public for other people.
But
it's for to share. It's for people to steal.
Yeah.
Or else I would have not shared everything. Is it?
Yeah. But I think people steal from everybody, but they don't say it. But I think it's normal because you study what people do. But I really liked it. I thought you were the only person. I thought, wow, he's really shifting those people. He's doing it for real. It's not fake, and I really saw that. But that was nearly 20 years ago, Sifu.
You must understand that I do go through combat.
Yeah.
I just not do exercise. My young age, I do fight. So I have experience in the ring, you see. It's not that just nowadays this ring is more like one area has so many rings. We fight one stadium, the whole stadium is only one ring. Say we fight is the main event, you see.
Yeah.
So no doubt we go through preliminary, and then at the last we fought in stadium, you see. So I said I would have a lot of fight because at least we go through the fight experience.
Yes.
Right? The training and all these things, you see. I'm not a professional fighter, you see, but I do have an experience of going through that, you see.
I think it helps a lot. To feel fear, to feel frozen, to feel.
Yes.
I had a lot of experience in security work, and sometimes with a lot of people, riots, crazy stuff. But I think it's good experience when it happens a lot of times. Your mind and your body changes because the focus it's straight away. It's immediate. You don't get a second chance. You got to do it straight away in real time. So I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, and then I got better and better and better. So
as we know that before we go up to the ring, you have all the fear. You see, right? Once you get in the ring, one touch. The start, you can't even listen outside, can't listen anything anymore. The focus is so focused. Yeah, everything is gone. You see? When you start fight, you see?
Yeah, so it all goes away.
Yeah, the focus is only your opponent, you see? Then you can know that, So after you know his level, then you get more relaxed. Then you start to listen the background again. You say, or else you can't even listen the background. So focused. You say, yeah. Then after the tournament's gone, what they call the holding of that spirit is gone. You get tired instantly.
Yeah, I fought a few times in the boxing ring. And I remember the first 2 times, I was really scared, really, really scared. And then by the third time, I was happy. I couldn't wait to go and have a fight, and I couldn't. It was more of a joyful experience. It wasn't fearful anymore, and I couldn't wait to do the next one and the next one. So it was very strange. But because you knew that after the match you'd hug each other, say good fight, go home, and we were friends. It wasn't. There was no hate. There was no hate.
Yeah.
So that was a good experience. But sometimes Sifu, to teaching calmness, being at 0 point of contact or zero, or being neutral, and then working under pressure sometimes has been hard for me to teach, because then sometimes I like to pressure my students, and you can see that their breathing changing, their focus changes, they start to tense up. And even me, I mean, even if someone is more stronger or younger than me and they press me, I'll start to get cramps, and after a few minutes. So we're all human. I think we all have these problems by nature, but I try and help them to keep relaxed states and breathing and keep the lucidity in their mind. So, but that's why when I was watching you work, you work a lot on all this all the time, and the breathing seems to be so important to help you keep this clear state of mind when you train.
Yes, because the training you got to go through pressure training, right? Sometimes not need light, heavy pressure, right? Putting pressure on training, you see, right? So sometimes we talk about we talk about IQ, right? The IQ, we talk about AQ,
AQ.
AQ, adversary.
Okay.
So you must able to withstand. You must able to belong. You must have that kind of determination, you see?
Oh,
right?
cool.
EQ must yes, but you must have a EQ.
That's cool.
IQ, AQ, EQ.
What's the EQ?
Emotional. Can you
IQ,
keep down
IQ,
your emotion?
EQ.
Yeah. Can you hold on your emotional? Or you get angry? So sometimes about our grading, higher level grading, we grade for a couple of days.
Right.
So to see your EQ, your AQ and EQ.
Mamma mia, that's cool.
Right? Because that in a comfortable position environment you can perform your art. Once the situation is not favorable to you, you cannot, because the emotional come up. Once the emotional come up, you lost all the skill.
Yeah. Yep. I can understand that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we test for IQ, AQ, EQ.
I'm going to steal that from you, Sifu.
I mean, it's fine. The main idea I'm talking here is to expose, to share, you see?
Yeah.
So whoever can steal it, you see? I mean,
Thank
it
you.
just help to awaken or help to improve the community, improve the art, you see? I mean, it's to share, that's the whole idea, you see? All right? Or else I wouldn't have do the podcast. Why right?
Yeah.
Why you share it and don't let people use? But if you use it, you know where you get it. If it happened to be something, you just give me back some credit.
Well, I really hope that people watch the podcast, Sifu. I also hope that, I can convince you to come back to Savona too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If I can pull off that miracle, it'd be nice to have you back in Italy. Yeah.
You see now on the May, I have one retreat in Italy
All right. In May,
in May.
where is
Ka-
it?
Ka- in Kali. I mean, it's on my Facebook. I forgot the name already. It's in Car. I don't know what. I can't name it.
Yeah, we'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Mm. Mm.
Sifu, how do you think we're going? Is there any other things that we can talk about? I had a couple of questions here that was again relating with Wing Chun, and he's talking about. No, we already covered that. We talked about healing. We talked. I didn't. There was a question here that was talking. No, you talked about the unconscious mind. You talked about that as well. I There was a question here about in your system. You talk about the 13 points and the rotation of the joints. How does a practitioner keep the structure immovable while remaining constantly fluid and rotating? Does that make sense?
Because that first of all, everything starts from one point of rotation.
Okay.
You see, the rotation itself is only all movement start from rotation is first if the is the clockwise and counterclockwise.
Okay.
You can only rotate clockwise, counterclockwise.
Okay.
So the clockwise, counterclockwise, that means it produce open and close.
Yes. Okay.
When you produce open and close, it produce pull and push.
Yes.
Then from pull and push, it produce all different kind of movement. Like you throw, you punch, right? You block everything. You see, is from pull push. You want to see down to that one point is from rotation, you do everything. So one point of rotations, then we say one point rotations, then we circles. Like the earth rotating around the moon, the sun, you see. We talk about then once it rotate, the rotation and circles, the circles turn into infinite continuity. Turn into figure eight. Turn the figure eight, then it's a continuing movement. Continuing changing.
Yes.
The open and close is the rotation. The rotation is the counterbalance of movement. Any point of contact people do move, you counterbalance it with rotation. Because it's all open and close. You counterbalance with open and close. You counterbalance with pull and push. You push me, I can push back. Or you push me, I can pull.
How do you open and close with rotation?
Rotation is open and close. This is rotation. It's open and close.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood what you mean.
This is close. This is open. You see?
Okay. Okay.
This is close. This is open. This is pull push is open and close.
Okay. I thought of something else. Okay.
It's everything evolved from here, open and close. But open and close evolved from rotation. Rotation is by holding from one point, balancing with your mass with the gravity. So everything starts from here. So with the rotation with circles, with the rotation, you want to understand that rotation to see the sixth direction. All directions, what's go out must return. So your center is stable.
Your center is between the Dantian and the Mingmeng.
Yes, there is a mass.
Okay.
Within the mass is the alignment. In the alignment sometimes they call it Zhong Ding, the central axis.
Okay.
In central axis, there is the rotation, but In front of the center of mass is Dantian. Behind the center is the Mingmen. There's one positive, one negative. So the center of mass is the neutral. So all at Dantian Mingmen, that means we do open close. You see, we pull push. Right? Pulling is to Dantian with Dantian. Pushing is with Mingmen. Mingmen is a yang. Dantian is a yin. All drawing condensing to the Dantian.
Can I ask a
The
question?
Dantian line, huh? Yes.
I have difficulty understanding condensing.
Condensing, that means from one point they draw to a point. They draw.
But if I physically condense,
from one point you draw everything to one point.
Okay.
Expand is from one point, it go out from one point out.
So I'm not compressing, no.
Compressing, yes, you can be compressed. Compressing is a different energy.
Okay.
Condensing is more of drawing.
Sorry if I ask. Is that similar to when you were teaching us the pulling from the breathing? And
the pulling is condensing.
Okay.
Condensing or absorbing.
Okay.
You absorb, absorb is different from compress.
Okay.
Compress is out to in.
Okay.
Drawing is from in. They draw out to draw in, you see?
Okay. I had a lot of trouble understanding this. Thank you. But you taught it on the first day of the meditation.
Mm.
And my brother and I, we were up till about 2:00 in the morning, just working on the breathing for the pulling. And my brother kept saying condensing, and I said, "Is it condensing or is it compressing?" I kept getting confused. Sorry, but it's important to me to understand this.
Compress is something that you outside here you compress. You see.
Yes.
Condensing is more like here you draw in.
Grazie, thank you. You take away big problem from my head.
You see now, there's two energy here. This is the yin.
Yeah.
When we absorb from one point to draw to this point. You see?
Yeah.
Like I'm grabbing, I'm drawing. I'm absorbing.
Okay.
Condensing is here that condense into the bone, like 90 degree, condense into the bone.
I don't know if I'm doing it, Sifu.
Yeah. So yeah, condense. There's two energy over two energy. One is drawing, one is condensing. Drawing is along the line. Condensing is 90 degree in. Like sucking. Sucking is condensing.
Yeah, I can't force it down with my hand. I have to try and draw it, I think. Okay. Back to the drawing board.
Like the yang energy here, right?
Yeah.
This is projecting. Projecting is on the yang surface.
Yes.
Expanding is from the bone. The bone expand out 90 degree.
Okay.
Condense and expand is like condense is small, expand big.
Okay.
So the bone here, you condense into the bone and bone expand out. It condense the bone at the same time you draw. Then you expand the bone, expand from the bone out and you expand. So when we draw and do this and expand, it's a macrocosmic energy flow along. When we condense to the bone and expand from the bone. That means you stretch all the joint. That's bone marrow washing.
Bone marrow washing, right?
So that means you are squeezing the bone, stretching the bone. That means you try to activate the bone marrow.
Sifu, is it true that if you think the energy, it's not good to think it through the bone, but on the surface of the bone?
Now you got to go into the bone.
You got to go into the bone. Okay.
That means you try to stretch the joint. You stretch the joint here, you suck. Then you rub this. Your muscle here, that's why you are massaging the bone. You see? So that means your bone then you will get more dense, you see?
Okay.
So all movement is about macrocosmic energy and bone marrow washing. So we stretch the bone, we condense, stretching the bone, yin yang muscles, all this with that rotation. Because the rotation, because of the ligament tendon are crisscross. You see, all movement from that's I guess going out. All movement is from inside to outside or outside to inside. You see.
Yes.
It's about paying attention of how you align the force. There are two things. One is the mechanic of the body. It's different from one mechanic of the movement. Like sometimes we talk about mechanic of movement is more of a software. Mechanic of the body is as a hardware.
It's the thought process that drives me crazy, Sifu.
You know, I mean, you just look at it directly, right? It wouldn't be a lot of variation. Your body is already you are born as such. Nothing mystery. Like I say, you only can grab this way. See.
Okay, but to draw to the bone on the inside means that mentally I'm doing it, I'm visualizing it, I think. But at the same time something has to activate. I'm not forced.
Yeah, that's why you don't visualize it. You feel it.
You feel it.
You feel the bone, you feel the muscle, you feel the ligament, you feel the tendons.
Okay.
So you draw, you condense, you draw, actively draw it and stretch it. Like stretch your bone. Like sometimes we talk about stretching. Like you stretch and condense. You stretch and condense. You stretch it and condense. Stretch the joint and condense it first. Then you stretch your muscles, ligament tendons.
When we're stretching, we're using the young muscles, right, Sifu?
Yes.
Right.
You condense with yin muscles.
Yeah, that's what we did for many days on the first week. Yeah.
Yeah, because that you need to activate the bone first. That means you need to feel your bone first. If you can't feel it, then your attention is not there. Then you cannot make any adjustment. You cannot any change. Because sometimes it's so hard is because that if attention is not there, if the student cannot able to maintain attention there, the attention there, the minute you adjust him, you turn your back, he fall back to his habit. So only do this one first. Okay. You want to kick. You can cross. Right? You can cross. You can cross. You can also drop straight up. is fine. The Xiulin Town is Xiulin Town. That means is good because of attention. All right, because of you need to have attention over there. All right, doing your exercise.
Well, they're very big on that, on having the intention, the focus, activation of other things as well that they develop. But this breathing, the condensing and expanding, I added to that as well.
About focusing.
Yeah.
Xiulin, attention.
How are we going, Sifu? Are you okay with time? Do you think? I think we've covered a lot of things. And,
I think should be enough. We can do it next time. More time.
Yeah. All right. And, well, look.
See how they respond. Then we can do a second edition.
Okay. Look, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, a big hello from my community, my family. They all said, please say hello to Master Sam Chin for us. If you remember Alessandra, Federico, my wife, my brother, everybody says hello. And we hope to see you soon. And
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, send my regards to them. At the same time, on the May 19 or what, I have a retreat over there in Italy. Just look at my website or Facebook.
Okay. And Sifu, please let me know any footage that you want me to put with the interview, because I'll set it up. Let me know, and I'll with your permission, I'll download it and I'll add it into the interview.
I mean, there's so many. You can go there and just pick
I can get what I want. That's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Sifu.
Okay. Thanks you.
Hello
Thank you
to everybody. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.